Clearly, WWE has stars. And that's a strange thing to say at the start of this video because it means I'm a hypocrite compared to the title, but it all depends on what you mean by the word stars. It's true though, if Kevin Owens came to your house right now, he knocked on your door, you opened said door, and there's Kevin Owens, you're gonna go crazy, because of course you're gonna go crazy. It's Kevin Owens, one of the best wrestlers on the planet. That'd be awesome. You'd have a great day. Other than John Cena though, we are yet to see someone in recent times break out of that pack, cross over into the mainstream, which in turn then brings in a new audience, much like Stone Cold Steve Austin and The Rock used to do back in the day. Why? Stunner, here's why. There's actually multiple reasons for this, and it's not just WWE is and they don't know what they're doing. I mean, that could be true. Maybe Vince McMahon does need a kick up the ass, but Vince McMahon also definitely wants these type of people. He wants these type of stars that do cross over and enter the mainstream and get in front of new people's faces, because that's good for the company. That's good for business. When that does happen, all the numbers go up, and everybody more or less is pretty pleased with themselves. And yeah, one of these issues is the people they're choosing to fill this role. Let's take a look at everybody's favorite wrestler, Roman Reigns. I can understand completely why he was chosen. He looks good, he wrestles good, he's got lovely hair, and he seems like he's an all-round good egg. So if you're going to send him out there, he's probably going to warm up to people and they're going to like him and that's going to resonate. So he ticks all the boxes, you can't argue with that. You can look at Roman Reigns and tick away. Now obviously there are certain things that did take away from what WWE wanted him to be, and yeah, one of those reasons was Daniel Bryan, who was amazing and of course still is amazing, because just because he's not wrestling anymore doesn't take away his amazingness. So Daniel Bryan, you're amazing. But here's the thing, as amazing as he was, he never evolved to the point that he was that guy either. Wrestling fans bought in, but the mainstream more or less didn't know who he was, or at least not to the point when compared to the other guys I've already mentioned. This could very well be because that's just not the type of person Daniel Bryan is. He didn't care about the spotlight really, he just wanted to wrestle for the sake of wrestling. But that's another reason why we loved him. He's real, he's genuine, he don't care about the fame, just wants to be a really good wrestler. So again, Daniel Bryan, you're amazing. The point is, right there you got two exact opposites in terms of how you get to the top of the WWE. You're either handpicked and chosen, or you fight and scrape and crawl and organically make your way to the top of the card. But neither guy is in a position to take over from John Cena, who will eventually vacate that, and more or less WWE has always had that guy. It started with Bruno Sammartino, then merged into Hulk Hogan, then Stone Cold Steve Austin and The Rock took it on, and finally we had John Cena ploughing things forward. And that's not to say other guys haven't cracked through or been well known or featured in movies, because they have. But they're not the trendsetters, they're not the guys that you would consider WWE's big superstars. That again is Cena, Rock, Austin, blah, blah, blah. This could always change in a heartbeat, and at one stage no one was looking at Steve Austin going, that's the dude that's going to change the business, but he did. So that person could be on the main roster right now, be that a boy or be that a girl. But I really do think a big reason for all of this is what WWE has become in 2017, or at least what it's been through up to this point. The brand, which is the worst word and term ever, so I apologize for using it, that is known as World Wrestling Entertainment is right now bigger than it ever has been. That doesn't mean it's more successful or more people are watching it, but because the world has got smaller and social media has just made things so more accessible, more people arguably are aware of it now than in history. Because of that though, WWE has now shifted to a model where they think they can be a success or sell shows just because of who they are. They don't need a marquee name above the company name. People will flock to see Vince McMahon's roaming circus just because they're in town. Clearly having a megastar to prop all that up is going to help no end, but I think that ties into some of the stuff that's happened in the past and management's fear about who they should pick for the future. Roman fell into this bracket because of how he looked, but just think of all the times WWE has followed suit and then got burned, with the biggest burn coming from one Brock Lesnar. When Brock became the youngest WWE champion of all time, that was it. The rocket was attached to his back and WWE was going to go all the way with him. This was the guy, this was the man, this was the beast. Then he left. It was kind of the same with Batista too. There was a time where Big Dave was considered the number one guy in the company, and although you had two different faces of the brands, because they had the split, so it was Batista and John Cena, backstage if they had drawn a graph, you would have had Batista at the top, and Cena, if you can believe it, would have been second. That's how they saw it. And then Batista left as well. There are countless others we could mention too. The Rock. But that does leave a mark and is going to affect how you start doing business going forward. Everyone mentioned here was able to go on to bigger and better because of the WWE. They were super talented and they worked hard to get to where they wanted to go, but they did that because of the platform that Vince McMahon gave them. So if you're in charge of this platform and start to realize how perilous it can be, you're going to be a little worried, right? Worried that your next big thing could leave you high and dry too. So what do? Well, you make WWE the star. WWE ain't going to screw you over. WWE ain't going to pack its bag and go to Hollywood. It's just 3 letters. It's inanimate, basically. You can control that. And while this may sound like the company shooting itself in the foot, there is a delicate balance there, and trying to find that balance is really hard. On the one hand, you want to get bigger, but on the other, you don't want these severe ups and downs where the person you do pick turns around, stabs you in the back, and you have to change all your plans. I can understand that. It may be slightly bonkers, but we're all human. We all have a defense mechanism. We all want to be protected. So it makes sense. And that's alright. It probably would have happened with Cena too, long before the absences that he has today. But he was so obsessed with WWE and loved the company so much that he hung around and he found a way to do both. That's why his work schedule is as crazy as it is, and why he's been able to stay at the top for so long. He basically did everything. He's the definition of a company man who is fueled forward by his ambitious nature. He's one of a kind. Not Rob Van Dam. There's obviously more things WWE could be doing from an in-ring standpoint, like listening to the fans, seeing who the fans liked and then choosing that person, pushing them, and see if they can make money with them. But this is my biggest takeaway when I do think about the quote-unquote lack of star power. You're kind of damned if you do, you're damned if you don't. And that's a bit sad. Now don't forget to let us know what you think about all of this in the comments below. Like, share and subscribe. Head on over to whatculture.com and read some articles. Follow What Culture on Twitter at What Culture WWE. I am Simon from What Culture. This was the Why series, and that's it for another episode. And I enjoy doing these. Don't know why I told you that. Just thought I would. Just thoughts. Sometimes I agree. Sometimes I just give the contrary opinion because, why not? Anyway, that's it. Video's over.